What if I told you that your favorite song isn't your favorite because it's actually good, but just because you recognize it? It's a pretty radical idea, right? We're about to dive into this. The possibility that what we call musical taste today might not be taste at all. It might just be a perfectly engineered illusion.
You know that feeling, right? You're scrolling through your music app and you're in this comfortable little bubble. All the new music you discover somehow sounds, well, exactly like the stuff you already know. If you've ever had that little suspicion that this isn't a coincidence, you're not wrong. It's a system.
And believe it or not, this system was diagnosed almost 100 years ago. Yeah, long before anyone even thought of writing code for an algorithm. A brilliant, and let's be honest, famously difficult philosopher saw this whole thing coming. He basically predicted how mass media would change not just what we listen to, but how we listen.
That critic's name was Theodor Adorno. And what makes his analysis so powerful, so devastating, really, is that he wasn't just some outsider looking in. See, Adorno wasn't just a philosopher, he was also a classically trained composer. He understood music from the inside out, and what he saw happening to it absolutely horrified him.
Adorno was a key figure in the Frankfurt School. Now, this was a group of thinkers who were pretty much obsessed with how mass culture, movies, radio, pop music, wasn't just harmless entertainment. They argued it was actively shaping our society, our very inner lives. For Adorno, popular music wasn't just fun, it was an industry, and its main product was conformity.
This quote, this is the absolute key to his entire argument. Adorno believed that real taste, our actual ability to judge art, was being worn down and replaced by simple recognition. We don't like a song because it's good. We think it's good simply because we recognize it. The industry makes it familiar, and we mistake that feeling of familiarity for genuine quality.
So, Adorno had a specific diagnosis for this whole condition. He called it the musical fetish. And yeah, I know, the name sounds a little strange, but it's an incredibly powerful way to understand exactly how music can lose its artistic soul and become just another product on the shelf.
To put it really simply, this is when we start loving the price tag more than the actual product. A song's value stops being about the experience of listening to it, what he called its use value, and becomes all about its market success, its hype, its exchange value. We're not appreciating the art anymore. We're appreciating the buzz around the art.
So how does the industry actually make this happen? Well, Adorno saw it as a four-step process. First, they advertise a song's success. They tell us over and over that it's a huge hit. Second, we start to worship that success itself. The song is famous just for being famous. Third, and this is crucial, it changes how we listen. We start just hunting for the catchy, isolated bits instead of hearing the whole piece. And finally, the song's actual meaning, the journey it was supposed to take us on, just gets forgotten.
And these fetishes can pop up anywhere. It could be a singer's voice, loved not for its artistry, but just because it's so recognizable. Or it could be the obsession with a Stradivarius violin, where the brand name becomes more important than the music being played on it. It's that perfectly engineered hook, Or the celebrity conductor, who's a bigger star than the composer. All of these are just distractions from the music itself.
So this creates two totally different ways of hearing. The ideal, what Adorno called holistic listening, is all about engaging with the entire piece, its structure, its development, its meaning. But fetishistic listening, that's just hunting for the highlights. The catchy chorus, the big vocal run, the familiar beat. It's basically the musical version of looking at a masterpiece painting and only noticing the artist's signature.
Okay, so if our listening is all about hype and isolated parts, what's the actual consequence? Well, according to Adorno, the effect is devastating. This fetishism doesn't just change our preferences, it actually damages our ability to listen. He called this the regression of listening.
And, Adorno's language here is deliberately shocking. He argued that we become forcibly retarded listeners. Now, he didn't mean stupid. He meant our development as listeners is deliberately frozen. The industry keeps us in a state of musical infancy, feeding us the simple, repetitive stuff, kind of like baby food, so we never develop a palate for anything more complex.
And this state of arrested development leads to what he called atomized listening. We don't hear a whole song anymore.
We just hear a series of disconnected bits and pieces. A cool drum beat here, a catchy vocal over there. The music shatters into a collection of isolated thrills, and we lose the ability to see how it all fits together.
He also saw a real danger in our obsession with technical perfection. He called it a barbarism of perfection. Performances that are so polished, so flawless, that there's no spontaneity, no risk, no human feeling left. The music just becomes a perfectly functioning machine, but with no soul. In his words, it becomes reified. It's been turned into a cold, lifeless object.
This whole process gets supercharged by arrangements. I mean, think of a powerful, complex symphony getting chopped up into a simple little medley for a car commercial. The arrangement just rips out the catchy, popular bits, throws away anything that's challenging, and repackages it for easy consumption. It tames the art, makes it safe and predictable, and in doing so, it just destroys its soul.
Now, we have to remember Adorno wrote all of this about radio and records way back in the 1930s. So the big question is, does any of it still apply to our world? Our world of infinite choice and super smart algorithms? Let's try to bring Adorno into the streaming age.
Honestly, the parallels are kind of chilling. Those all-powerful radio programmers of the past, they're now the invisible algorithms. The standardized 3-minute pop hit, it's become a viral 15-second sound on social media. The watered-down classical arrangement, well, that's today's sped-up remix or slowed-in reverb version. And the celebrity conductor has just morphed into the celebrity playlist curator. It's the exact same system, really, just running on newer, way more powerful technology.
So let's just think about our own habits for a second. Do you skip a song if the hook doesn't grab you in like 5 seconds? Do you live almost exclusively in your algorithm-fed Discover Weekly playlist? Do you know the viral clip way better than the full song it came from? Do you mostly just treat music as background noise? From Adorno's point of view, these aren't just harmless little quirks. They are the defining symptoms of this regressive listening.
So what's the ultimate goal of a system like this? Adorno's conclusion is pretty grim. He said it offers us a pseudo-pleasure, a kind of empty satisfaction that just fills our time. It keeps us quiet, occupied, and perfectly content with what's familiar. It's music designed to prevent us from thinking critically, to keep us from asking any difficult questions.
And here it is, the final, really brutal twist in Adorno's whole argument. By participating, by streaming the hit, by buying the ticket, we become part of the whole charade. We end up worshiping the very success that our own money and our own attention created. We literally make the hits that then turn around and tell us what we're supposed to like.
All of this leaves us with one pretty unsettling question. The next time you put on your headphones and press play, just ask yourself, are you really listening? Or is the industry simply listening through you?